Don't stop.
I will admit that I am a huge Bravo fan. I love most things Bravo. I am a big Housewives fan. I love Southern Charm. I love this new show that's out called Next Gen New York City, where it's some of the housewives, kids that are on the show. The Valley I just watched, I am into that. I'm losing my attention span for some of the housewife shows. I'm trying to stick with it. I couldn't even get through this season of Atlanta, really. I just thought it was just boring, even though my other friends that love Bravo as much as I do are like, no, get past the second episode and then you'll love it. And I just didn't. There's too much other things to watch on TV. Next Gen, New York City, I was so disappointed because I did not realize there was only 8 episodes that were going to be out for this first season. And then it ended this week. And it was so disappointing because I was not ready for a finale. I thought there was going to be at least 10 to 12 episodes, but it's over. And it just, the Bravo shows, the Housewife shows, Southern Charm, Southern Hospitality, all these shows are just like mindless TV for me, where I can just kind of not think about anything and just watch these characters live their lives. And, you end up knowing everything about them mostly. And Summer House is another one, whenever the whole thing with Paige DeSorbo and Craig Conover, they broke up. I'm telling my husband about it, and he's like, I don't know who these people are. Or whenever Tom Schwartz cheated on his girlfriend, Ariana, like he had no idea. He's like, why is this on CNN's homepage? And Bravo's it's a big piece of a lot of people's lives. My friend Mandy lives and dies from Bravo shows, and she doesn't miss a single one of them. She loves them all. And my husband, when Bravo and the Housewives first came out 20 years ago, whatever, we used to watch all those shows together. And then we lived in New York City, so we only had one TV at the time, because I guess we had, do we have a studio or a 1-bedroom? But we probably had a 1-bedroom, and we only probably had a TV in the living room, which is why I guess at that time, 20-something years ago, we had to watch the same shows together. Now that we have, how many TVs do we have in the house now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 TVs in the house. So now we don't have to watch TV together at all if we don't want to, but we do. Anyway, my point of this whole thing is that I am a Housewives fan, and I had the opportunity this week to interview someone who I really, really like. And you may know her as from the famous quote, "He got caught sucking dick at the roundup." That's what she heard. And not an exact quote, but that's how I kind of opened my conversation with her, is because that's what she was known for. Her name is LeeAnne Locken. I think she's amazing. I had the opportunity to meet her when I lived in Dallas at this charity event called the Teddy Bear event, where everybody brings a teddy bear and they donate them to the Children's Hospital. And I met her there, and it was nice to see her in person. And she looks fantastic in person. And I have to say, on this podcast, she looked amazing. Like, her skin is so great, and she's just a genuinely nice person. And I think they portrayed her as kind of being the villain sometimes in the Real Housewives of Dallas, but I think she's anything but that. And if they ever bring the Real Housewives of Dallas back, if she's not on there, I wouldn't watch it, because she is such a strong, strong character. So I hope you enjoy the interview with LeeAnne, whether you're a Housewives fan or not, because she is an amazing person and an amazing interview. So enjoy. Hi, thanks for joining me on the Everything and Anything at a Bit Gay podcast. I have a guest I am so excited to bring on. It is LeeAnne Locken. She is known for the Real Housewives of Dallas. She does a ton of charity work, and I've seen her at charities doing the work. And she is a TV star, a motivational speaker, and she's amazing, and she's beautiful, as you can see if you're watching the video. So welcome to the show, LeeAnne.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
So I have been trying to get LeeAnne on my show for a while, and because she's one of the housewives that everybody has their favorite housewives for every franchise, and LeeAnne was my favorite for the Dallas Housewives. So,
Oh, thank you.
and me and my friend who loves you as much as I do, we always do the he got caught sucking dick at the roundup. So we quote that all the time.
Yeah, I got a few of those out there, huh?
Yeah, you do. But people love you. So, do you miss the Housewives franchise of Dallas at all?
There are a few things that I do miss about the show. Like, I miss the ability to create those really fun parties. I miss the over the topness. I
Yeah.
miss the camaraderie. I mean, there are a lot of aspects that I really miss about the show not being around anymore. But then there are a few things that I just don't really miss at all.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah. I mean, do you think there's a chance? Like Miami was gone for several years and came back. I think
I
that,
know. And
I've
Miami's
seen,
doing amazing.
yeah,
So I would love to see that for Dallas, because I think Dallas is just such an underrepresented market
Yeah.
in the reality world, really. I mean,
Yeah.
if you look at what's going on, we've got The Landman, you've got Tulsa. I mean, like, we're shooting a ton of TV shows here.
yeah,
So it's really, and I love The Landman, because if you watch it, I mean, they're just like, petroleum's in everything. Your lipstick, your, like, and it's just so authentically Texan, which I love that Sheridan took a minute to realize what was Texan.
yeah,
And I wish that maybe Bravo and Goodbye Pictures had done that a little more, like really kind of understood what's authentic Texas and just let us be that and stop trying to tell us what Texas was. Because
yeah.
there's a little, disconnect there.
I have to just tell my audience also, when I met you at this party, you have the most amazing skin in person. I mean, your skin looks great. Your skin looks great on camera also, but it's like what it really looks like in person.
You are
like, we took a selfie and I just like,
you have good lighting. That's what you have.
No, it was not good lighting either, because it was kind of dark in there. So you even had good skin with just the camera lighting. So
it was the party is dark. They like to keep that disco club going.
Yeah. So you looked great even with not great lighting. So that's real good skin. So
you are sweet. Thank you. Yeah, I love the teddy bear party and the fact that they raised so much money and so many teddy bears for those kids in hospital. Yeah. I mean, that's something that, is close, near, and dear to my heart.
When you think about the Real Housewives, when you were on it and you look back, you obviously, like we said, had some great funny moments on there and some one-liners that people still repeat today. Is there anything, though, that you look like, God, I wish I didn't do that, or I wish I'd have done that differently?
I get asked this a lot because I know I did a lot of not nice things and things that, make people think I'm a scary, evil person, but I'm really not. I think, any human can be pushed to that. And I think if you mess with a lion, you're probably going to get your hand bit, But yes, there are some things that I regret, but then again, because I did them, I learned about myself. I learned about how to make myself a better person from them. I grew from the experiences. And I think that, you can't grow if you don't fall. And I'm just really good at falling on my face. I love it, still have all my teeth, but I just keep falling.
Is it hard to watch yourself on, like, whenever you're doing, I feel like it'd be so hard to like go back and watch some of those moments.
It's awful. You even when I put stories on Instagram and then I have to go through and tag everybody, just listening to my voice, in my mind, I sound like, just like, oh God, shut up. Yeah.
So are you still friends with all of them?
Most of them, yes.
And again, you've kind of become famous for your one-liners. How do you feel about how they maybe edited and portrayed you sometimes on the show? Like you, I feel like, I don't know if that was really you who they were editing.
It wasn't. And, because you've met me, you have the opportunity to see what I'm really like.
Yeah.
I'm not, did I throw a drink at anybody? Did I?
No.
No. And so, I think the problem with Dallas was that nobody really wanted to be the villain. Nobody. And everybody wanted to be America's sweetheart. And the reality is that Housewives isn't a show filled with sweethearts. Nobody wants to watch that. And so the job fell to me. And when it didn't fall to me, the girls forced me.
Got it.
To be the villain. And so, and not only that, but you got to understand, like, I don't think people realize this. You can't sit on a set for 8 hours waiting for something to happen. I have a life. I want to go home.
Yeah.
The Housewives was a job. It wasn't my life. And I think what destroyed the show ultimately was that too many of the cast members really allowed the show to become their life and not their life to be displayed on the show.
Yeah.
And for that, that's not what the show is about. Like, the show is about you. You aren't about the show. So I think what really destroyed it was a lack of authenticity, a lack of being willing to be that, sacrificial lamb. Brandy did it a lot.
Yeah.
Brandy did it a lot. But then, at the end of the day, she would always turn and make me worse than her, and she had Stephanie, the sweetheart, to rescue her and have her back. And I really never had anybody to be like, that's not what LeeAnne said. That's not what LeeAnne did, but it is what it is. I survived it. And I learned a lot about arguing, a lot.
You got to learn, you got to be a good debater, right?
You really do. Yeah.
And do you think that reality and like your real life, do you think there's ever like a blur in between them, or you're just like, oh, that's this reality that they're portraying me isn't necessarily me, but I'm trying to be real. I feel like that you were trying to be real, and they were trying to make you something that you weren't.
100%. There was I remember the first season we had filmed, and we had a producer on the show. And I would say to her, listen, I'm going to go into this event, and I know I got his permission. We're filming here. I got all of that. But the reality is, before you start making me work, I have responsibilities here. I have to say hello to at least 50 people who are here for my friends, that I need to thank them for being here for this nonprofit. That's important to me. That's what matters to me. And she'd be like, oh, LeeAnne, blah, blah, blah. Come season 2, she was having everybody like, LeeAnne's got to go in first. Don't mic her yet. Let her go do her thing.
Yeah.
And then she will come back and mic her and then do our job. And because, I think people don't really understand that it's about being grateful. And I think when you're grateful to the people who show up for nonprofits, they will consistently show up. And I always felt like it was my job to make sure that some of those nonprofits that no one would have ever heard about got a little bit more attention than they would have ever gotten. And I know I did that for the Grace Project, which was the world's only convention for HIV positive women.
Yeah.
And there's nothing else like that in the world, and I'm grateful that I got a chance to show the country that existed. There were people calling the Grace Project from all over the country.
Wow.
When's the next one? Can you help me get a bus ticket? I'd love to come. That kind of stuff, like, they never really showed the importance and the value that had to my life. Yeah. And I think because they never really allowed people to see that part of me, people were like, oh, she does charity to make money. I never I gave money to the charity. There's not a charity I went to that I didn't buy a ticket to.
Yeah.
And they never really showed that part. So it was frustrating to not be, to not have the full side of me shown. It's easy to look at a cactus and go, ooh, that's going to be prickly. But then when you open it up and you realize that there's nutrients inside of it, oh, there's value. But they never really got to show that part of me.
Somebody I was there with the night I met you, when you walked away, they're like, oh yeah, I know her. And she's really that person. Like, so you are that charitable, nice person, he said. So
I will say, especially in Dallas in the LGBTQ community, that I I'm so grateful to that community, and I am in love with that community, and I
Yeah, how did
respect.
that happen? Like, they all love you.
Yeah, because it wasn't the show that got me to be a part of it, and I think people don't realize that. I think people think I started doing charity because the show was coming and I
Yeah,
needed to look a certain way. I was involved with these charities 10, 15 years before the show ever happened.
yeah,
So I was already known in the community. I was already there. I already emceed events. I already helped people connect with sponsors and food vendors and flower arrangers and event coordinators. And, I'd been there for a long time. So when the chance came around for me to put them on camera, everybody was so happy. Everybody
yeah.
was. So,
But I'm telling you, the gays, all my friends, they all love you. So,
well, there's nothing like the roundup, honey. Those are only $1, and you could have a good time on 5 different.
exactly. Another thing that I loved about you is that you really talked about your story, like who you were, like as you were growing up, the
Yeah.
difficult kind of childhood you had. I think that really shaped, and people got to know who you were for that. Do you think that helped shape who you were and your identity today as a person?
When it comes to my life and me sharing my life, it bothered me that the girls were like, oh, her story again. Here comes her
Oh,
story again. And I'm like, okay, so I think that was really kind of shameful towards me to basically try to shame me for
yeah.
having asked, which I didn't ask for as a child. It just happened. And I think that really kind of actually, because I was already so open to sharing, the girls really used that against me. Like, that's her excuse for bad behavior. It was never my excuse for bad behavior. I'm trying to explain why I am how I am. I don't trust anybody. There's a reason for that. Trust was taken away from me. Like, I think what people don't realize is that when you're a child, an infant, and you're injured the way that I was injured,
Hmm.
it's permanent damage. It's not a, oh, get over it, It's permanent damage. What you do is you don't learn to get over it. You learn to live with it.
Yeah.
But realizing that living with it is probably going to change your personality. It's going to change your ability to trust. It's going to change how you react and respond to things. And
And I think it made you a stronger person too.
listen, I pity the fool that screws with me now. I
Yeah.
really do. I'm
Yeah.
like, to the wall, let's do it, bitch. I'm not, the only way I get injured these days is to have my heart broken. And
Yeah.
and the only way that happens is when my friends let me down,
Yeah.
and those friends aren't a part of my life anymore. I've really learned to, like, as I've gotten older, I've really learned to just find this zen, peaceful part of my life. And it just works. It's amazing. I'm so joyful, happy. My dogs are happy. My
Yeah.
friends I hang out with are happy. We have a good time together. Um, yeah, I loved sharing my past because I was praying that even if it only helped one person.
That's why I think it's so great.
Yeah. And
It's-
actually, Steve Eager, who's on the nightly news, Fox 4, is a Fox 4 anchor at night here in town. He actually, when I signed up for the cast, said, don't, first time I saw him after I'd been announced that I was on it, he said, don't be mad at me. And I was like, for what? And he was like, because I might have put on Facebook that somebody I really respect and admire just signed a deal with the devil. And I said, I did. But if I do this show and they nail me to the cross, but I've helped one person,
Yeah.
then haven't I done what Jesus asked me to do?
Yeah.
And he was like, LeeAnne, you've got more strength than I do.
I mean, that's why I think it's so amazing, because if you eat, like you said, that one person that's gone through something similar to what you've gone through, a tough childhood, and they're like, God, I'm not alone. I'm not the only one.
And that's the thing. I think the part about that is I think people who suffer feel so alone.
Yes.
And you're not. The first time you are willing to express yourself to anyone, you've found out that you're not alone.
Yeah.
And I swear to you, I used to say this all the time. If you feel alone, DM me. Like,
Yeah.
I will reply to you, I will find you. I will reply to you. And even to this day, I still get DMs of, you helped me understand my husband's PTSD.
Yeah.
You helped me understand how, my mother not wanting me. You helped me understand how to live through that and accept that and be okay with me. And for me, there is no greater value. I don't care what the check was.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, when I get to heaven at the pearly gates, all of those are going to be my entry fees, Like,
Yeah.
you did this for someone and you didn't even know that person needed it.
What advice would you give someone that's been misunderstood or they've kind of been misrepresented? Like, what would you tell them to be able to kind of take their self back?
Care less what other people think. Diarrhea flows easily.
Yeah. Whenever I turned 50, it was weird. Like, I kept hearing, whenever you turn 50, you're not going to care what people think. And when I turned 50, it actually happened. And now, a year and a half, 2 years later, I care even less.
It's a godsend. And as you get older and older and older, you're like, oh, you think I'm a bitch? Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Isn't it freeing? Like, it's so nice.
And I wish that is a gift that I could give to 20-year-olds, 30-year-olds, 40-year-olds. I wish I could just say to them, 20 years from now, you aren't going to give a rat's ass what these people think of you. And especially with social media, I think when people spew hate at you, it really means you're doing something right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you're doing something they want to do or wish they could do, and they just don't want to put the time and the effort and the energy into it, or the sacrifice into it. And the reality is none of us are a mistake. We all have a purpose. We all have a reason for being here, and we're all loved. And so you just got to accept all of that and just let the go.
Yeah.
And it's not easy. I'm not going to lie.
Oh, no. Yeah, it's not.
Yeah. New show, and immediately there was so much shit, She looks like Kenya Moore. And I'm like, hey, I'll fucking take that all day long. Kenya's gorgeous. Okay.
Yeah, Kenya is gorgeous. Yeah, take that compliment. Yeah.
I was like, well, thanks for the insult. That was fabulous.
And we'll be right back. Okay, and now back to the show. How is Rich doing? How are you guys doing?
Hey, Rich just actually went to get an MRI. He had 6 surgeries last year.
Oh, wow.
All from being a SWAT operator for 17 years on Dallas SWAT department. And, but he's been going to physical therapy for 6 months. He had a full right hip replacement New Year's Eve. And he's finally gotten to the point where he can drive by himself.
Okay, good.
And I'm no longer the El Uber. And he can walk and he can get around, and I don't worry about him so much. So it's just, he's doing great. He's happy. He's, being retired for us is just like, we laugh. We dilly-dally around the house getting our little projects done. And then at night, we sit down for dinner and we pick something we want to watch and we just giggle together. Like we watch Gemstones together. Oh my God, I'm surprised like San Antonio didn't hear us laughing.
What's your secret to having such a great relationship like that?
Honesty.
Okay.
Honesty. Like, you know what? And I don't, even when he's like, shut up, I'm like, well, if you think you can make me, we can try.
I think you're the boss of that house. I'm just going to say.
Like, I'm not even saying it in a threatening way. I joke back at him, and then he realizes, and he's like, I'm sorry I said that. Like, you just have to learn not to fight. Everything doesn't have to be a fight.
Yeah.
Even when he says something or when I say something, he hates when I'm watching TV and he comes into the room and I'm like, and he's like, I'm allowed to talk to you.
Does he try to talk over you when you're watching TV, like asking you a question?
The time.
My husband too. I'm just watching TV. Can we talk after?
Yeah, I can't listen to you.
Same.
What's happening on my TV? And I swear to God, it's like he finds that perfect moment when you're like, you've waited and they're about to tell you what you've been waiting to know. And then Rich is like, hey babe, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, ah.
So tell me about how you moved into motivational speaking.
Oh, I've been doing that for a long time. I actually stopped doing it when the show came around because Deandra was just making so much fun of me doing it. I love helping people. I've always loved helping people. Yeah. If there's an opportunity for me to get out there and lift people up, and I feel like it's our job to make a ripple in the pond, because that could really lead to some big changes. And I feel like if you're unhappy and you're laying on your sofa, who is creating that unhappiness?
Yeah.
It's not the situation. It's you. Get up. Motion creates emotion. Mm-hmm. Make a difference. And if you are so feeling down on yourself, the best thing I can tell you is go focus on someone else.
Yeah.
Call someone else and make them the project. Make them. Call someone that you know and just say, hey, how are you doing? And if they're like, oh, tell me about it. How can I help? And all of a sudden, you've forgotten about you, because when we try to help others, we feel better about ourselves. And I think that's one of God's little tricks he put in there. And he's smart. He nailed it.
Yeah. I want to know, I know one of the things you're working on, and I want the audience to know this too. So you are doing a new show on Fox 4, right? And it's called Housewives Confidential?
Yep. Ladies Who Late Night.
So tell my audience about that, because I can't wait to hear about this and see it.
It's going to be fun. It's lighthearted. It's nighttime. No drama. No, any of that kind of shit. It's really going to be us just going behind the scenes. Like, if there's a scene that you want to know what really happened behind the scenes, we'll talk about it. So I think the first thing that we're going to break down is the This Is Why You Have Plastic scene, where I smash the glass and Carrie Duber and I get in each other's face. And I think that's going to be the first thing that we break down. And we're just going to tell what was going on our side of it. Maybe show some images that weren't shown on the show. Yeah. And we're excited. And then we're also going to do silly things like play games like, what would you do if, you were on a plane and the person next to you got butt naked? Because basically that's been happening lately. Did you hear that in the news?
No. Oh, yes. I did.
Yeah. I'm like,
there's all this craziness happening in mid-flight now. I'm like, what's going on?
Is there like something in the circulated air that's making people go cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs?
I don't know, but I don't want to be in those flights with those crazies.
So we're going to talk about things like that. We're going to talk about our confessional looks. We're going to talk about a ton of break down the scenes, though. I think a lot of people want to know that. And we're going to tell stories of stuff that you never saw. Yeah. Parties that we shot that were never aired.
Yeah, so why does stuff like that happen? Because they don't feel like it was enough drama, maybe, or it was too much drama?
No, like one time when we were in Copenhagen, the production company lost the entire footage for the day.
Oh my God.
And Cameron and me and Carrie were like, I'm not effing shooting an entire day of footage. Like, you don't understand, that's 2 different crews, 2 different sets, like the entire footage for everyone.
Yeah.
Well, they told us Deandra, Brandy, and Stephanie went to a bar and started getting drunk and crying. And I was like,
how do you make that again?
You can't. No, like they were like over it. They were idiots. And I was like, I immediately went into military mode. I was like, all right, I need to know where the backpack was stolen from.
Yeah.
Start a grid. We'll start with a 5-mile radius, then we'll do a 10, then we'll do a 20. In Europe, the trash cans have hinged lids. So we've got behind the scenes footage of us doing this.
Really?
And we're going to tell stories like that. Like, seriously, Cam and I almost got shot because we ended up in the King's courtyard and no one was supposed to be in there.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That story alone is worth it. It really is. So we're going to tell stories like that, and things that people don't know that happen that, I'm sure Carrie and Cameron have a lot of stories to add. Like, well, so-and-so asked me to do this or say that. And, the thing is, people are always like, well, did they ever ask you to do something? And I'm like, the one time that they asked me to do something, I was like, I don't need to do that. You need me to do that. I ain't got to do shit. And they were like, we're never going to get LeeAnne to say it. And I'm like, you're not. I mean, I'm going to be me and authentic, because at the end of the day, when I go out and I meet people are going to want to hear me talk. And if I don't sound in person like what I sounded on TV, then no one can believe it,
And Cameron and Carrie are doing the Housewives Confidential with you, right?
Yes. So it's going to be Cameron Westcott, who lives in her little pink bubble. And you guys are going to get to see for the first time that Cam's bubble is real. Like, people don't realize it. She has no clue what to do. If the world ended, she would be like waiting for a phone call from her husband going, you have to tell me what to pack and what direction to start driving. And I'd be like, Cam. And Carrie Duber, she has grown so much. She looks incredible.
Yeah.
She's grown so much as a human. She's gained so much more confidence than she had on the show. She and I play with each other. We go to dinner and we just get drunk and, we laugh our asses off together. And that's really what I think I want people to see, what could have been, number one, and what's happening now. And then and we'll talk about current topics and things like that. And play games.
What are your thoughts about the Housewives of Rhode Island that they're doing?
So my producer, who went with us that night to go look through all the trash cans, is the executive producer of Rhode Island. And he says that one of the girls, he just keeps telling her, you remind me so much of LeeAnne. You remind me so. And I'm like, what's her name? What's her name? Tell me her name. I want to come visit her. I want to come play with her.
Yeah.
But, he won't. He's been real good about keeping his lips shut. Yeah. But I'm like, oh, my God, somebody like LeeAnne's going to be on TV again? This is awesome.
So do you get to meet the other housewives often? Or, BravoCon and stuff like that, I guess.
I went to the very first BravoCon. I was invited to go to the very first BravoCon, which was great. So it was nice to see everybody. I, of course, had met a lot of them at Andy's baby shower.
Okay, yeah.
And you meet them just from doing Watch What Happens Live. And I have a really great connection with a lot of them. Some of them still on, some of them not on. But I had a great connection with a lot of them. And I enjoyed it. I was just out in the Hamptons at Jill Zarin's, and Cynthia Bailey was there, and LeeAnne, and Kristen Takeman, and Jill. It's just nice to every now and then spend time with them and get to hear about what's going on.
So you have a very kind of fierce part of you, and then you have a very soft part of you.
Yes, I'm a Gemini.
Okay, so how do you kind of balance that difference?
I will say that most of my time, I really try to live Zen. The last therapist I had when I was doing Housewives told me something, and I've used it every single time I get stuck or feel overwhelmed. If there's something that you cannot change or fix, let it go.
Yeah.
Find one thing, even if it's fluffing a pillow.
Yeah.
Go redo the pillows on the sofa. Start a load of laundry. Do something that you do feel in control of, and it'll take that overwhelming feeling away. And I use that to this day. Listen, let it be, let it not be,
Yeah.
And even when it came to this talk show, the truth is we had done Steve Noviello's last call together. Steve had asked me to get together some housewives, and I was like, oh yeah, Cameron and Carrie Duber for sure. 3 nuts together. So I got us all together, and they had so much DMs and emails about what's going on with them. Are we getting another housewives? Blah, blah, blah. That they were like, would you guys consider doing a late night talk show where y'all just talked about housewives stuff and other stuff? And we're like, yeah, we have fun together.
Yeah.
That's really where the show came about.
What's the weirdest DM you've ever gotten from somebody?
No, you get them too.
The dick pics, huh?
Yeah. Woo.
Why? Why do they do that?
I honestly don't think when people send you a dick pic that it's actually their dick.
I don't think so either, but
I'm
just
like, you found a donkey and a donkey pig. Okay, whatever. And obviously those people are immediately blocked too. So please do not send me dick.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah. I do want to ask you before we end, if you've done so much amazing stuff for the community, right? And I want to know if you ever and I don't think you do, but I think you should. Do you ever stop for a minute and think about how much good things that you have done for the community and for people, individual people even? Do you ever stop and think, wow, Mike, you should really.
You know what? In my office, I have a ton of awards and thank yous and pictures, and I have a ton of it to help me to remember, don't quit.
Yeah.
And I don't stop and think about it because I think there's still so much work to do. I think today's United States, today's world is in such a fragile condition.
It is.
That if we all stop caring, it's only going to get worse. I don't care if there's 5 of us in the universe that are trying. That's 5 more people than yesterday,
Yeah.
And I think that every day we encourage someone to try to be better, do better, feel better, make the world a better place. Make one person smile today.
Yeah.
Just make one person smile and see how good it feels. If you really want to feel good, maybe that's why I'm so happy. I don't know. I mean, I love making people laugh, making people smile, being there for people when they're in the most worst times of their life. That's when I'm the strongest.
Yeah.
That's there and really, try to find what God wants to say to them and say it. And I've yet to miss the mark on that one. So I'm just grateful to be where he puts me at what time he puts me there.
Well, I'm just asking you, once in a while, stop, even if it's once a month, and just think about how much good you bring to the world. I think that's important to do.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
And my very last question for you is, what is one thing that people don't know about you that you would like to share?
I'm a terrible cook.
Oh.
But do not let me in your kitchen.
Okay.
Let you want it burned down. That's one thing. I mean, even the grill, I have burnt grills to the ground. I had to paint the brick on the backside of my house because I charred it black.
I'm not having you over for a dinner party and cooking
it
then.
Was bad. So you definitely want me to plate food. I'm an excellent plater.
Okay.
But you don't want me to cook. And the other thing is I watch cartoons every night to go to sleep.
Okay. Which ones?
Currently Bob's Burgers and Rick and Morty.
You're my husband. He does the same thing.
It's so, oh my God, Bob's Burgers, the sign.
King of the Hill he listens to also.
Store Next Door. If you read the Store Next Door sign, what was it? Bend it like bedpans, medical supplies. Yeah. And you're like, that's hilarious. And people don't, these cartoons are made for adults too.
Yeah, they are.
Definitely Adult Swim cartoons. So yeah, I love it. I go right to sleep to them.
My husband does too, and he has it sleeping next to him all night on his iPhone, listening to it all night. I'm like, how do you need this noise? And he sleeps though.
I have a white noise machine. My husband turns the TV off. Like he's in charge of the remote. Once I take my sleeping pill and I've watched my cartoons, then he's in charge. He can either change the channel and watch something else to go to sleep to, but I will tell you, I've moved the needle for him over to watching cartoons to go to sleep.
I'm not there yet. I probably will end up there, but
I'm converting him.
Okay. and does he watch any of the Housewives shows ever?
No, neither one of us really do. You know, I think once I got off, I was like, okay, I'm going to step away for a minute. And you really have to kind of deprogram yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're on a show, you're so on automatic defense. Like, what are you going to say to me? What? And so I kind of got to a point where I just had to let all of that go and just recenter. And I enjoy the center now. I enjoy just the relaxation of it. And I was enjoying being retired. So I'm excited to see how this show affects my retirement.
Yeah. It doesn't sound like you're retiring anytime soon, really. So
stop! Yes, I am.
When is the show airing for the first time? Do you have a date yet?
Fall. We're going to start filming at the end of August. You know, Cam and Carrie got to get their kids in school.
Yeah.
My kids lay on the floor. They're good. But we got to get their kids in school, and then we're going to start filming at the end of August, and then we'll start airing it September. So I'm excited.
That is so amazing. Well, I am so grateful that you did the show. Again, all my listeners, I'm sure, love you because the whole gay community loves you. So thank you so much for being on. Well,
thank you for asking me. I'm sorry it took me so long to get here.
It's okay. You're busy. I get it. You're doing a lot of things for the community, so I get it.
You are very sweet. Well, I'm happy I got to do this. I love talking with you, and thank you for all the fun questions.
Yeah, you're welcome. And then everybody, I will put LeeAnne's Instagram and websites in the description of this podcast or the video if you're watching a video. And go and send her a DM, but not a dick pic. Just send her a nice DM and tell her.
No dick pics.
Yeah, just send her a nice DM and tell her that she's a good person or she's nice or pretty or something. But no dick pics. So
no.
Thanks so much for being on. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast and also be sure to leave a comment on what you thought about the interview with LeeAnne. Thanks so much for being on.
Bye.